All right, this is going to be the trigonometry video for this year. So, you all right? Okay. All right. So this is 5.1. This is the second part of the notes. Are you okay?
I need the board.
I asked you.
Yes.
Man. Dang, girl. Anyway. All right, so write this in terms of sine and cosine. So what we need to do is actually change the whole thing into be sine and cosine. Okay, we're going to start by doing that, and we're going to simplify it. So we're going to reduce the fraction, kind of like what we did the other day. So for this one, I'm going to start off saying cotangent is what over what?
Oh, x over r.
X over r. Cotangent is x over r, right? So I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, so it's going to be 1 plus cotangent, so it's x squared over y squared, right? Cotangent's x over y. And cosecant is
R over y.
r over y. And what is the r value now?
1.
1. Very good. So it's going to be 1 minus 1 over y squared, right? Because isn't cosecant?
1 over.
Yeah, cosecant is 1 over y, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but so this one's going to be the y squared. Since this one's going to be squared. So what is 1 squared?
1.
Very good. So that's the reason why it's not going to be 1 squared over y squared, but they are both squared. Did I lose anyone on the setup here? If you're lost right now, then this is the basis of everything we do for this chapter. So setting up your x, y's, and r's should be 1.
Oh, so it's always 1 no matter what.
Because we're dealing with identities, and identities, like your unit circle, the radius is always 1.
No given, it's just going to be 1.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The identities r should always be 1. Okay, so now for this one right here, I now have a fraction. I could turn this into algebra. What is the common denominator of the top and the bottom?
Y squared.
Y squared.
And 1.
No, just y squared. That's common. So y squared is my common denominator. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by y squared. So on the top, I'm going to distribute the y squared. So it's y squared times 1 is going to give me y squared. Plus, what's going to happen? So I just did that one right there. What's going to happen when I do this one right here? The y squareds will cancel, right? Y squareds will cancel. So what's going to be left over? X squared. Very good. Over. Now I'm going to do the same thing this. So over here I'm going to distribute that. So that's going to give me y squared. And right here, right there, that's going to give me 1, right? Yes? Yeah. Yeah, minus 1 because the y squareds are going to cancel, and it's just going to be the 1. Are we okay with this?
Yep.
This is algebra stuff right here, so yeah. So I get minus 1. Nope. Okay. When we were dealing these problems yesterday, what can I say y squared plus x squared is? What is sine? Okay, so isn't this y? Oh, let me write it over here. Y squared plus x squared equals r. But my r is 1 in this one here, right? That's my Pythagorean identity right there. Y squared plus x squared is equal to 1. Or 1 squared, right? But 1 squared is always 1. That's this first identity.
Oh, so the top part for that problem.
It's this one right here. So this one right here is going to be 1 plus x squared over y squared equals 1 over y squared. That's this one right here. And my last one, my tangent, is going to be y squared over x squared plus 1 equals 1 over x squared.
Can you wait a second so I can write those down? So that's
Yeah.
always what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just translated each term. We know cotangent is going to be x over y, right? So cotangent squared is going to be x squared over y squared. So if you have these written down, it's going to be very, very helpful. Very, very helpful to have these written down. Es muy importante.
You're gonna Spanish next period.
No Spanish?
Huh? Oh, I said I have Spanish next period.
Oh, okay. So you don't know it yet then.
No, I know.
So you don't know that phrase yet?
I do.
Okay. So. You need something to write with?
No. I think
Okay. So we good now?
No.
No? Did you find something yet? Okay, so the top part of this function is going to be what?
That's gonna be
Just 1, right? Y squared plus x squared is going to be 1. That's helpful. Now the y squared minus 1. Okay, that one's also going to be an interesting one, and I'm going to show you why. So y squared plus x squared equals 1. Can I move the 1 to the left-hand side? Say yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can move the 1 to the left-hand side. What am I going to do to move it to the left-hand side?
Subtract it.
Very good. So it's going to be minus 1, minus 1. So it's y squared plus x squared minus 1 equals 0. Are we okay?
Oh, you factored, huh?
No, it's not a factoring. So from right here, let's look. I don't want that x squared here. I want the x squared on the other side. So what would I do to get the x squared on the other side? I'm going to subtract it from both sides. So it's y squared minus 1 is equal to negative x squared. By using the Pythagorean identity, this one right here, I could change it to different things. So y squared minus 1 is going to give me negative x squared, isn't it? So let's go back and look at that. So y squared minus 1 is going to give me negative x squared. So I translated all the trigonometry to math. So all that up here just got reduced to this right here. It all got reduced, it all got simplified to that point right there. So now let's translate it back to trigonometry. So if this turns into trigonometry, what is 1 over x? X is cosine, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's 1 over x? It's secant, right? Because x is supposed to be cosine, right? So 1 over x is going to be secant. But in this case, this is going to be a negative secant squared. Right? That's what it means there. It's going to be a negative secant squared. But my thing right here says write it in sine and cosine. So my answer is just going to come out to be 1 over negative. Nope. Because it's sine and cosine. That's it. Cosine squared theta. On the test, you'll actually see something like this. And you'll have to write it as negative secant squared x or theta, whichever it is. So you're going to have that, or you can have this. Both these are the exact answers. They're both the same. But the reason why I'm saying on the test is because the test is multiple choice. And then you're going to have to be like, oh, hey, it's supposed to be this. Or it's supposed to be this. Okay? Depending on the wording on it. If it says, simplify it to this, then you just get that. And if it says in sine and cosine, you go to this. Simplify here, sine and cosine. That means that your answer has to be with sine and cosine. No tangents, no cotangents, none of the other stuff. Is that ridiculous? Did I confuse the crap out of everyone?
No.
Yes? Okay, how about we do some more? I know which one I was supposed to do. Where's your homework at? There it is. Okay, so here it is. We're going to take, this is number 54, and it is secant of theta, cotangent theta, sine theta. So this is 54 from the homework. So this is what you're going to see as a homework problem. So what do we know secant is?
It's
R over x. But what is my R?
1.
So this is going to be 1 over x times. What is cotangent?
That's x over y. X over y.
X over y. Very good. Cotangent is x over y. You guys get lost on this. Don't forget your unit circle. The unit circle you guys had last semester. It's the same stuff. Okay, you guys could probably dig those out. Times. Now what is sine?
Y over r.
Y over r. But what is my r here?
1.
There you go. Now, we just translated this from trigonometry to algebra. Because you guys speak more algebra than you do trigonometry. So what can I do with my x's? What can I do with the y's? So what's my answer?
1.
That whole thing comes out to be just 1.
Oh, that's how easy that is? That's the answer?
Yeah.
Notes are complicated than notes.
The notes was supposed to be harder than the actual thing. So I tried to throw you the hardest problems in the notes. And because I hate teachers that actually give you the easy problem in the notes, and once you see the homework, you're like, what the hell's this? Like airspeed of velocity of a maiden swallow traveling 44 miles per hour
What?
and craps an egg in mid-flight. At what velocity is the egg going to hit you if you're traveling 32 miles an hour in the opposite direction?
Is that physics or math?
Yeah. Could do the math on it, but you really don't want to.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we good.
that's basically what it is. Questions, concerns, complaints? Don't forget to like and subscribe.